मैं वंदना आप सबका यूपीएससी टाइम में स्वागत करती हूँ। आज की वीडियो में हम एनसीईआरटी हिस्ट्री क्लास 10 का चैप्टर 2 देखने वाले हैं, जो कि है द नेशनलिस्ट मूवमेंट इन इंडो चाइना। नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट द चैप्टर। Here the first slide comes from emerging from the shadow of the China. The modern countries of Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia constitute Indo-China. Many written group of the people lived in this area under the powerful Chinese Empire. An independent country constituting northern and central Vietnam as established colonial domination and resistance. When Vietnam was colonized by the French, the people of the country ran into the conflict with the colonizer in the areas of the life. While the French thought colonies necessary, colonies were considered essential to the supply of goods like natural resources like other colonies power. French too consider it their mission to bring the benefit to civilization to backward people. Should colonies be developed, writer like Paul Bernard strongly believed that the economy of colonies needed to be developed. On the contrary to what Bernard suggests, in the rural area, landlordism spread and the standard of the living declined. The dilemma of colonial education under the pretext of modernization, the French destroy local culture, reason, and traditions which were seen as outdated and prevented modern development. Education was seen as one way to civilize a native, taking modern. Another problem was the elites in the Vietnam were powerfully influenced by Chinese culture. The French systematically demanded the traditional educational system and established French school for the Vietnamese. Look modern. The Tokin's Free School was started in 1907 to provide a Western style education. The school encouraged the adoption of the Western style, such as having a short haircut. Resistance in a school, the increased number of Vietnamese teachers made it difficult to control what was actually taught. Students fought against the colonial government's effort to prevent the Vietnamese from the qualifying for white collar jobs. The battle against French colonial education became part of the larger battle against the colonialism for independence. Hygiene disease and everyday resistance plague strike Hanoi. The French part of Hanoi was built as a beautiful and clean city with wide avenues and a well laid out sphere system. On the contrary, the native quarter was not provided with any modern facilities. Thus, the effort of the French to install a hygienic environment became the cause of bubonic plague. The rat hunt in 1902, the French hired Vietnamese workers to hunt down the rat. Those who did the dirty work of the NCERT found that if they were united, they could negotiate a higher amount. They also discover innovative way to gain profit from the situation. Deletion and anti-colonialism. The French missionary aimed at the corresponding Vietnamese tendency to reaware the supernatural by imposing Christianity. The scholar revolt in the 1868 was one of the clearly movement against French control and spread of the Christianity among the peasantry. Religious beliefs were shaped by a variety of syncretic traditions that combine Buddhism and local belief. Other ways of becoming modern Japan and China. Early Vietnamese nationalists looked up to Japan and China as a model for change. Japan and China were a refuge to those who were escaping French police. These were also locations where a wider Asian network of revolutionary could be established. The vision of modernization, some intellectuals felt that Vietnamese tradition had to be strengthened to resist the domination of the West. Some others felt that Vietnam had to learn from the West even while opposing foreign domination. These differing visions led to complex debates which could not be easily resolved. Other ways of becoming modern Japan and China. Early Vietnamese nationalists look up to Japan and China as a model for change. Japan and China were refuge for those who were escaping the French police. These were also locations where a wider Asian network of revolutionary could be established. The communist movement and the Vietnamese nationalism. In Feb 1930, Ho Chi Minh brought together nationalist group and established the Vietnamese community called Vietnamese Cong. Uh, Deng Party. In the 1940, Japan occupied Vietnam as a part of imperial drive to control South Asia. The League for Independence of Vietnam, the Vietnamese fought the Japanese and recaptured Hanoi in September 1945. The Democratic Republic of Vietnam was formed under the chairmanship of Ho Chi Minh. The new Republic of Vietnam, the French tried to regain control by using the Emperor Bao Dai as their puppet. The Vietnamese were forced to retreat of the hills on May 1954. The Vietnamese annihilated and captured more than 16,000 soldiers of the France Expeditionary Corps. Peace negotiations were held in Geneva. After the French defeat, the Vietnamese were persuaded to accept a division of the country. The Bao Dai regime was soon overthrown by the coup led by the Ngoc Dinh Diem. The entry of the US into the war grew out of fear among US policy planners that the victory of the Ho Chi Minh government would start a domino effect. They underestimate the power of small country to fight the most technological advanced country in the world, the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Ho Chi Minh Trail symbolized how the Vietnamese use their limited resources to great advantage. The nation and its hero, women as rebels. As the nationalist movement grew, the status of women come to be questioned and a new image of a woman would emerge. Heroes of past time in the 39 to 43 Common Era, the Trung sister had fought against Chinese domination. Other women rebel like Trai A.U. who lived in the 3rd century CE became a secured fighter. The end of the war, the US has failed to achieve its objective. Thousands of young US soldiers had lost their life and countless Vietnamese civilians had been killed. A peace of settlement ended conflict with the US, but fight between the US Saigon regime and the NLF continued. The NLF occupied the presidential palace in Saigon on 30 April 1975 and unified Vietnam. विथ दिस अवर दिस चैप्टर इज़ कम्प्लीट. अगर आपको इस चैप्टर से रिलेटेड कोई भी क्वेरी या सब्जेक्ट से रिलेटेड किसी भी टाइप की क्वेरी हो तो आप कमेंट बॉक्स में पूछ सकते हैं. अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आई हो तो वीडियो को लाइक करके चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दें ताकि आने वाली वीडियो की नोटिफिकेशन आपको टाइम पे मिलती रहे और वीडियो को शेयर करते रहे. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग द वीडियो. स्टे ट्यून्ड विद द चैनल.